Hello and welcome everyone. This is Sunil from 3D Arc Stuffs, and today I am going to make a tutorial about how to do interior architectural visualization inside Unreal Engine using 3D Studio Max and Datasmith. And in this detailed tutorial I will explain every steps that is needed and involved in completing the whole scene using Datasmith. And without further ado, let's get started. So first thing what we will have to do is we will open the scene, and I will go inside my folder 3D Studio Max, and here is the file, and that is tutorial 01, and I will open this scene, and this says some missing DLL, so just ignore it and go ahead and click open. And if it says some missing external files, that are some texture and all those things, just ignore them, because all the textures necessary and needed for the project are already inside this folder, have been already collected inside this folder, so it will pick from there. So don't worry about this message, just go ahead and click this option, don't display this message at render time, and then go ahead and continue. Once you continue it, and now if you see that this scene has been opened, and go ahead and then click here on the corner and right click and make it shaded, and I am using 3D Studio Max 2016 for this purposes of making the tutorial. And first thing first is just go ahead and make sure everything is near about the 000 center. That means if you select a object, it's only 8 feet, 4 feet and 0 feet, that means they are already near the center. And near the center means you can see this grid. You see, if I press G, then you can toggle on off the grid option in Max. So I pressed G, and then you can see the grid, and if as I see every object in the scene is near about this grid, try to avoid making the scene away from the grid, like here or maybe here or maybe here, maybe here, because sometimes what I have observed is the accuracy of the models degrades if it's too far from the origin. So if they are not near the origin, just select every object in the scene and bring them near the grid option or the grid location. And after that, what you will have to do is go ahead in customize, and then go in preferences, and make sure this use real world texture coordinates have been it's switched off, because if this is switched on and modeled, and the scene has been modeled while this option is on, then the texture scaling once the object goes inside Unreal Engine will be messed up. So try or avoid modeling the scene after using this scene. So before you ask anyone to model the scene for you, or maybe if you are going to ask or maybe if you are going to model the scene by yourself, then first thing first should be, you should go ahead in this texture coordinate settings, preference settings, and then switch off this option, and then go ahead and model the entire scene, so that the texture will be appearing inside Unreal Engine as it's applied inside Max. That means that there will be in proportion or in scaling, they will be perfect. After this real world texture coordinate has been switched off, just go ahead and right click in the viewport and unfreeze all the objects inside the scene. So right click in the viewport and click unfreeze all, and then right click on the viewport and unhide all. And if it says this message, it come, just go ahead and click yes, and just unhide all object in the scene, unfreeze all objects in the scene. So after this texture coordinate setup, we will go in customize, and then we'll go in unit setup, and in unit setup we will make sure that this display unit scale is in centimeter, metric and centimeter, and system unit setup is also in centimeter. but as of now I see that these both units are not in centimeter, and we cannot directly go ahead and change here into centimeter. That will be not correct, because the units will be in centimeter but these objects will be in older dimension only. So best way to change the unit of the project if it's not already in centimeter will be, I will go ahead and close 3D Studio Max, and I will say, I'll just make sure that unit setups are in default format, and I will save this file, and I will close Max, and I will close the Max, and then I will reopen the Max, and I will show you how you can change the dimension effectively. So I will go ahead and again open 3D Studio Max. And once 3D Studio Max is restarted, straight away go inside unit setup, and then go in display unit scale and click on metric, and then change it to centimeter, and then in system unit setup go ahead and system unit scale change it to centimeters, and then click OK, and then again click OK, cross check it if it's correct or not, and here you can see both places centimeter, and then go ahead and click reset in 3D Studio Max and click don't save, and do you really want to reset, then click yes, and then after that just go ahead and open that file tutorial 01, and then click open, and then again click open, ignore this message, DLL message, and here it says that the unit scale of the file does not match the system unit scale, and the file unit scale is in inches and system unit scale is in centimeter. If we click adopt, then the unit will be kept as default older version, but that we don't want. So we'll go ahead and click on rescale the file object to the system unit scale, and by this what will happen is all the objects inside 3D Studio Max scene will be scaled into centimeters, and that's what we want, because Unreal Engine uses centimeter as default unit. So we want we want to make our 3D Studio Max scene into centimeters. So we'll go ahead and rescale the file object to the system unit scale, and then we will click OK, and then we will click continue, and again ignore this message and click continue, and after that go ahead and just in units and make sure cross check that both the units are in centimeters, and now this object is inside the centimeter. And after that what we'll have to do is we will just select everything in the scene. We will select Control A, and you just go ahead here in display and click on lights and cameras also, because lights and cameras were hidden, and the shortcut of this is Shift L and Shift C. If I press Shift C again, then camera will be hidden and unhidden, and if I press Shift L and then click again, then lights will be visible and invisible. So now as I can see that nothing is hidden, and right click, I have already right click and unhide all, and right click unfreeze all. After that what we will have to do is we will press Control A, and then we will go here, select and link, and then unlink selection, then we will click unlink selection. So that we will do this because any object, if they are linked to each other, they will be breaked, and the link will be breaked, and we don't want anything to be linked with anything, because we have to export them individually. So we'll just click here and then click unlink all, and after that what we'll have to do is we'll again go inside we'll Control A again, and then after that we'll go ahead and group, and then we'll click open, and then again Control A, and then in group we'll click open, and then again Control A, and then in group you can also use open recursively, but I prefer clicking open again and again, but you can click only one time that open recursively, and then it will open all the groups present inside the scene. And after that what we'll have to do is we'll have to arrange all the objects into their different layers according to their category. So what we'll have to do is I will just expand this layer palette, and then I will go here, click on this triangle, and then I will click layer explorer. And after that, what I will do is I will go here and selection filter, and I will click geometry, and then once it's in geometry, I will click Control A, and it will select only geometry present inside the scene. And I will go here and make a new layer, and I will name it 01 underscore geometry. And after that, I will collapse this, and I will deselect it. See, if I select this one and then again create a layer, then that layer will be inside this selected layer. So I will go ahead and click here in the open space and make sure that none of the above layer is selected. And once again, I will go here in geometry and go and click on shapes, and then I will press Ctrl A, and then again I will go in create a new layer, and I will name it 02 underscore shapes. And then again I will deselect that layer, and then I will go in filter selection filter, and then I will click on lights, and then Control A, and all the lights will be selected. And I will go ahead and make a new third layer, and I will name it 03 underscore lights. Then I will collapse it, and then I will deselect that layer also, and then I will go in cameras and Control A and make a new layer and name it 04 underscore cameras. Then I will collapse it and then deselect that particular layer, and then I will go in helpers and Control A, and then I will go ahead and make a new layer, and then 05 helpers. So as you can see that we have arranged all the objects in their in separate layers according to their category, and we'll go ahead and delete any layer that is empty. And you can figure out if a layer is empty by seeing a triangle on the left side of this. If a layer doesn't have a triangle like this, see, if this layer is having a triangle, that means there are objects on this layer. But if this layer doesn't have any triangle on the left side of it, that means it's empty layer and we need to delete it. So I will press Control, and then I will click on all the empty layers, and then I will right click and then delete. Before right clicking and deleting the layers, one thing to be noted is this blue layer should be not selected, that this none of the object none of the layers that are going to be deleted should be active layers. So if you see that this blue icon is there, that means this layer is active. If I select here, click here, then this layer is active, and this layer cannot be deleted if it's active. So before deleting any layer, just make sure that you have you don't have any layer among those layer as an active layer. So again I will go ahead and select all the layers that are empty, and then I will right click on them, and then I will click delete. So you can see that all the unwanted layer that are, or the empty layers have been deleted. And after that, what we will have to do is we will press Control A, and then we'll go ahead and again in selection filter we'll select click all, and then Control A, and then we will right click, and then before that what we'll have to do is we will select hide this light and cameras, and then helpers, and then we will go ahead. So before before we go further, what we'll do is we'll just select unhide all and unfreeze all, and we'll click Control A, and then we'll go inside all, Control A, and then right click, and in object properties we will just deselect display as box, and then click OK. So because some of the objects were in being displayed in box condition or in the box. So what we'll have to do is we'll just select all, and then go in object properties, and then select just uncheck this display as box, and then we'll click OK. Cancel the isolate selection mode, and I will switch off this light and this cameras, and in helper I will go ahead and switch off the helper layer here, and I will switch off these shape layers. And as I can see, and now as I can see, this object has not been sent inside our shape layers, so I will select it manually, and I will right click and add selection to new parent or pick, and then I will go ahead here and click on shapes, so that object will be gone inside the shape layers. And after that also, after that what I will do is I will switch off this light layer and cameras layer, and then this default layer, and after that I will click this geometry level to be make it as default layer. And as you can see that we have organized everything accordingly, so that we can proceed from here. And in that, what I did is I just made a different type of layers, named them accordingly, and I went ahead and arranged those objects according to their category in different layers. After that, since I see every time this saving option, I will make it 60, so that a max saves the scene every 60 minutes, in every 60 minutes, and I will then save the file, and I will close the max, because if I restart the max, then only that command will be registered in 3D Max preferences, and it will save the file or the scene in every 60 minutes. So again I will start the max, and again I will go in max and then click on tutorial 01 and open that file again. And I did this because max was saving the scene every 5 minutes, that I didn't wanted, so I went ahead and made that saving settings in every 60 minutes of interval. So now max will save 60 after every 60 minutes of our scene. So after this, what we'll have to do is, since everything organized in proper manner, I will go ahead and cancel the isolate selection mode, and then I will just I will make sure that only this geometry layer is active and unhidden, and this option is on in the layer palette, and I will press Ctrl A, and then I will right click and then convert to editable poly. So I will convert every object into editable poly. And one more thing I would like to say or tell you all, that there is a file that you should know about. Is this is a file where I have noted the whole process of Unreal Engine interior process till we bring everything inside the Unreal Engine, or maybe till we export everything from 3D Studio Max. And here you can see that I have noted the points, and you can follow this, and I will provide this file to you all, and you can see this, that we can use this to know accurately what we have to do as the next step. So you can see that we have completed till here, convert the whole object into editable poly, and I will just go ahead and close that file. And after this, what we'll have to do is we will select all these objects that are present outside of the scene, and we will just go ahead and make a new layer, and we will call it 06 underscore rough. You can also delete that, but instead of deleting those objects, it's better to keep them as it is in different layer, and we will arrange that I have arranged that those objects in different layer. And after this, what we'll have to do is we'll have to detach the objects accordingly, so that they can be unwrapped very properly inside Unreal Engine. And for that, what I'll have to do, what I will have to do is I will just go ahead, press Alt Q and isolate the selection, and then I will go ahead and select polygons and then select and then detach it. And if you can see that once I pressed D, this detach option is coming because I have went ahead here in customize, and in keyboard shortcuts I went ahead here and all commands, and you can see that detach poly I have given command D or D as a shortcut on my detach poly, and because of that if I go inside polygon and select any polygon, and if I press D, then this detaches that polygon. So you should also do that. You should go ahead and then make that shortcut on D, and then just control A. After detaching into smaller pieces, I will just go ahead, select all, and then hide it, and then again I will go ahead and select the objects, and I will keep this doing until I am satisfied that I have detached all the objects that are present inside the scene accordingly. So as you can see, I have detached this object into several small objects, and then again I will go ahead, I will leave the last polygon so that it will remain a separate object inside the scene, and then I will go ahead, control A, and then I will hide that object also, and I will go ahead, keep on doing this. I will go inside polygon or maybe element, and then I will click OK. I will detach it, and then I will isolate selection, and then I will go ahead here, and what I will do is I will just go inside here window crossing, and I will click this option, and then I will press G and hide this grid option, and then I will go ahead here, and then I will select this polygon. I will go in polygon mode and then select this, detach, and then select this and detach, and I will go ahead, keep on doing this and detaching all these columns because it's very necessary, because if they will be, if they all will be a single object, then it will be very complex object to unwrap on channel 2. So as you can see that I have break that object accordingly, and now I will do the same on these curtains, and for these curtains what I will do is I will go ahead and inside polygon mode I will select all, and then I will go in slice plane, and then I will rotate this plane, press S for snap, and then I will angle snap, press A for angle snap, and then I will snap the angles. And before that what I will do is I will just go ahead and select all these 3 curtains, and then I will apply edit poly modifier, and then I will go ahead, select all polygons, and then I will go in slice plane, and then I will go ahead and cut those curtains, slice, 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 and then slice, and then after that I will go ahead and convert and collapse that in editable elements, detach it like this, detach it like this, and I'll select the second curtain, and then Control A, and then hide it, detach it, detach, you don't need to detach anything from the windows or glass, window glass or maybe door glass. Just go ahead and hide them, and then I will go in floor and then detach this floor also, and then hide. So as I can see, this curtain is already hollow from inside. You don't need to detach it, you just go ahead and so as you can see, I am going on and detaching everything and trying to make the object as simple as possible. So you also have to do the same. I will convert this object into a editable mesh and then I will detach it because it had some error. So if you see some error on any object, just go ahead and convert them into editable mesh temporarily and then detach them. So as you can see, these are already in separate elements. I will separate them according to their elements. You just have to go and detaching the object as much as possible and making them simpler for the automatic unwrap to work as nicely or as accurately as possible. So as I can see that these objects are already in smaller pieces, I will just go ahead and select one object and then I will press Ctrl Q and then it will select the similar objects and then I will just go ahead and hide them, and do the same on this object, do the same on this object. And for this object I will just go ahead and detach it. I am going ahead and straight away hiding the object that does not need to be detached, so be aware of that. So as you can see, there's this laptop has lots of elements and we want to separate all those elements at once. For that, what we can do is we can just go ahead, right click, convert to editable mesh, and then go inside faces, Control A, and then I will go here in explode and I will make it 180, and then I will explode it, and then all these object will be separate objects. and then I will hide them. Just go ahead and hide this object because they don't need to be detached. I'll go ahead and detach this also in smaller pieces. As you can remember that I have already made a tutorial about how to unwrap or bring a complex object like this bed inside Unreal Engine. I will just go ahead and do the same technique which I have taught inside my tutorial, and then we can bring this object very easily inside our scene. So I'll go ahead, select that object, and then I will break that object into several smaller pieces like this. And this technique works very well, so don't be hesitated about using this technique, because I have tested this technique and used this technique on several of my commercial projects, and I didn't had any issue with this technique. So be assured about that and just go ahead and use this technique to make your work simpler. Don't try to unwrap it the harder way. You can make these chunks even a bit larger, but you can make this smaller also. It depends absolutely on you. So I will go ahead and make it a bit larger in size, and if it has some error we can then go ahead and detach them and make them smaller anyway after we see or find any error on those. So just go ahead and bring them into a bit more larger chunks to make things a bit faster. So be patient and just keep on detaching these objects and make them into smaller pieces, so that we will not have any bugs after we bake the lighting. So as you can see that I have break this object into smaller pieces, so that it will be very much easier for auto unwrap to unwrap these objects, individual objects, very easily. So I will just go ahead and select all these items, and I will hide them, and we need to do the same on this complex blanket also. So I will go ahead and do the same, and since it's bit more complex than that blanket, we will try to keep it small to make it error free. So don't make the selections or chunks, smaller chunks, too big. Make them or keep them small. So as you can see, I'm making them relatively smaller in size than before to keep them error free. So you should be careful in that regard. and just be patient and keep on doing this. It does count in the final quality, and it's prevent from lot of headache later. So if it's a bit time consuming work, be patient and do this to avoid errors and problem in the future or later in this project while we proceed further. So just keep in mind and just go ahead and keep them detaching. So as you can see that I also detached this object into into several small parts, and now I will just press Ctrl Q, and then it will select all the similar objects, and then I will hide it, and then after that I will go ahead and just hide it because it doesn't need, and I will hide these two, and I can just I will just go ahead and see if it's in different element. If it was in different element I would have detached it, otherwise just go ahead and hide it. So as you can see that these two objects are only the objects that needs to be break further, but before breaking them further, what I will do is I will just go ahead and make selection set. I will name it 01, and then I will name this selection set 02, and then I will unhide all, and then I will press no, and then what I will do is, because in the earlier I just saw this was coming out of this roof, and this one is also a bit suspicious. As of now you see it's coming out, and this curtain also are coming out, but we have already detached it, but we will correct them also. So I will just go ahead here and I will go inside camera view 1, and then press P to go in perspective, and then I will just make sure that this is the roof which I should align it. And now what I will do is I will just go ahead and use FFD modifier, and in FFD modifier I will go in control points, and then I will select this, and then I will press a snap, and then I will snap this on this object so that it snaps properly. So as you can see now it's properly snapped, and now I will just go ahead and do the same on these objects also. And I will go ahead and use FFD modifier, and then I will go in control points, and then I will go ahead select this, and I will just go ahead and then I will collapse it to editable polygons. And the last one are these. I will go ahead and deselect all these extra objects, and then I will just go ahead and do the same. I will apply FFD modifier, and then in control points, I will go ahead and snap them on this. So as you can see, they are now properly snapped, and I will then go ahead here. I will select all this, and then P, and then go ahead and snap them on the roof here also. And then I will go ahead and apply FFT. Control into editable poly, and then edit poly. I will go ahead and select the vertices, and then I will keep on snapping one by one until they are all snapped on the roof. So as you can see, they are all snapped on the roof. And one more thing is that this object is too complex, so I need to detach this object also into several smaller pieces. So I will go ahead and do that, and please have a look how I do this. I will go in polygon, and then I will detach it. Then I will detach this object also. Detach. You need to do this because it's very much crucial. Otherwise, this will never be accurate or look clean, even if you give 2K resolution of light mass on this. So it has to be done. Just go ahead and do this. We might have to break them even into smaller pieces if required, but at a first glance, let's see how it goes on this, and after that, if we find any error, then we will go ahead and detach them further. So as you can see that I have detached all the objects. I think I should pay some more attention on this object. Okay, we don't need to do anything about it. So I will again Control A and then right click and then convert it into polygons. And after that, what I will do is I will go in tools, and then in rename objects I will name them SM underscore geo underscore, and then numbered, and then I will click on rename. And after that, I will save the file. And then I will save as the file. So I will just save as the file so that I have a backup of the file after I convert all the objects material into a standard material. So after that, what I will do is I will go ahead here in script, and then I will go and run a script, and there is a script whose name is converter. I will just go ahead and select this script, and then I will click open, and then it will ask to convert material convert version 1.23 into whole scene. I will convert the whole scene, and then I will convert it into a skin line, and then assign, you don't need it force unknown material conversion, and all the and these are the only settings we need to do. Just go ahead and select a scan line and done. Don't need to do anything. And if you want to download this material converter or this converter, you can go ahead on scriptspot.com and download this script from there. Just type converter and then it will show you the result, and then you can download that script from there. And if it will be possible, I will just go ahead and put this put the link of this script in the resource folder on my tutorial, and then you can get it from there, or maybe I can include it with the assets of this asset files of this tutorial series. So I'll just go ahead and click on convert, and it says, do you want to see the log? No, I don't want to see the log. Just go ahead and done. And if you can see that all the materials in the scene have been converted inside standard material, and you can see that by this. If I press M, then I'll go ahead and make this a compact material, and then I will go here, make it 6 by 6, and I will go ahead here, and then I will reset all the materials in the scene, and I will dock this material palette here. And if I go here, I will select this slot, and then I will select this, and if I select this material, you can see that this is a standard material now. And you can go here, and then I will just click here, and you can see that you have that material here present inside this scene. So again, I will go ahead and save the file, and from here what you need to do is I will just go ahead here, and I will show you what you need from here. And from here you need a uDataSmith exporter. Suppose I select this object, and if I go here and then export, and then export selected, and you can see that Unreal Datasmith uDataSmith format is available here. And if you want this exporter, you can get it from here. Just open Epic Launcher, and I will wait for it to open. And once this Epic Launcher is open, what you can do is you just go ahead here in library, and you can see if your Datasmith subscription is active, then you will see an Unreal Studio Beta, and there will be exporter, get exporter plugin, and there is Unreal Datasmith. It's already installed and active, and you need to just go ahead and click on here, get, and it will open in the default browser, and from there you can download this script. And maybe I will provide this script also inside the resource folder of this tutorial series. So what you need to do is just go ahead here, and what I will do after this is I will just go ahead here, make sure this is library in layer mode, and then I will go here on geometry, and then I will right click here, and I will click select child nodes, and if I press H, then everything is hidden. So once I have selected all the objects by right clicking here and then going inside select child nodes, and just go ahead and do that again and select child nodes, and then I will go here and export, and then export selected, and then I will go in D drive, tutorials, and export. And before that, what I will do is I will go ahead and clear that folder, because these folders are temporary. Go ahead and delete them, and then again I will go ahead, export selected, and then go here in uDataSmith, and I will name it 01 underscore export, or maybe export underscore 01, and then go ahead and click save. And if it's ask include selection, then select only selection, because we only need to export certain selected object, and that are only the objects that are present on geometry level, because we don't want to export lights and cameras. We don't need them, because in this workflow I will teach you how to do the lighting and material, and can use camera inside Unreal Engine scene native, or all the native elements of camera and lights. So just go ahead and include selection and then click OK, and wait until it exports all the objects into UDataSmith format. So as you can see that it exported all the objects. Now what we have to do is we will just go ahead and save this file. And after we save this file, what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and start Epic Launcher, and we will start Unreal Engine 4.2.10 and wait until it gets loaded.